Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So as you can see from the title, today we're going to be talking all about binge eating, because that is something that I have dealt with in my past. If you guys watch my channel, then I'm sure you know. And just overall eating disorders and how to kind of deal with them in this point in time with the quarantine, with the coronavirus, with everything that's going on in the world right now. I went back and forth on whether or not I was going to make a video about this. I always kind of struggle talking about my eating disorder because it is personal and vulnerable, and I also fear that I will say the wrong thing, and I don't want that to happen. I don't want to point anyone in the wrong direction of how to deal with their own eating disorder, because there's no one size fits all kind of solution to this. It's working on it every single day and working on improving your relationship with food and your mental health and all those things. But basically, I'm already going off on a tangent. So I got tons of DMs and messages asking me if I could make a video like this. Because of the quarantine, a lot of people are scared. A lot of people feel like their eating disorders are coming back. They're resurfacing. They're seeing patterns and behaviors. And I remember like the first few days of quarantine, I was terrified. And it's interesting the way that it actually worked, because in the past, when I did struggle with my binge eating, my first initial reaction would have been to just go to food, because food is what made me feel better always. And if I was feeling anxious or sad or depressed or anything, that was my escape. But I have recovered, and I'll always be in the process of recovering. I think when you struggle with an eating disorder, it's kind of part of you in a way, as sad as it is, and you can beat it. You absolutely can. You can have a healthy relationship with food. I hope you guys hear me when I say this. But those thoughts and those feelings, like, you know what they feel like, and there's always fear that they could come back, especially in a critical circumstance, which I feel like this is it. If it's gonna come back, it would come back now, right? So I totally get why people feel scared and confused, and they don't really know what to do with themselves. They don't know who to turn to. And if you've struggled with an eating disorder, food is kind of just your coping mechanism. It's something that you know consistently makes you feel good. I don't really have a lot of structure to this video, but I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about it. And if anything, whenever I make a video about binge eating, I always say, like, I just want you guys to know that you're not alone in this. The few things that I've been doing for myself and my own mental health, and I definitely had thoughts of like, okay, my binge eating is for sure gonna come back. We can't leave, we can't see anyone. I thrive on staying busy and making lists and being productive, and I felt like all of that was just stripped away from me. And the second that I feel like I lose control, I have this like creeping thought in the back of my head, like, well, you don't have control over anything, and that means you don't have control over your eating disorder as well, and it's gonna come back. But it's interesting because like the first few days of quarantine, the complete opposite thing happened. Instead of wanting to use food as comfort, I didn't actually want to look at food at all. Nothing sounded even remotely good. If you guys watched the full day of eating that I did, then you know I was struggling with just getting food down. And that's because I was dealing with anxiety. It's like, it feels like there's a knot in my throat. Drinking water, talking, eating, all those things are so hard. Like, all I want to do is just lay in bed and distract myself. That's not good either. Obviously very unhealthy. And the best thing we can do for ourselves right now is to stay healthy. I knew that. The way I dealt with that those few days was just making things that might not have been like on my mind. I wasn't necessarily craving, because I didn't have any cravings, but making things that I knew were familiar and homey and kind of just like comfort food. So to me, that's like my avocado toast, waffles, banana bread, like baking things, because it is distracting and it's fun and takes up some time and always tastes good. I didn't force myself to eat if I 100% knew I couldn't eat. But there were times throughout the day where I felt like eating was easier than others, and I try to pay attention to that. And even making like a smoothie, if you're not feeling hungry but you're feeling thirsty, that's a really good way to get some calories in and just get it down. After those first few initial days, once my anxiety like subsided a little bit, I don't want to say I got over the fear of this, because I still have fear. I still get scared about this thing literally every single day. But I did get more used to that this is like the new reality. And again, although this might not end as soon as we want it to, it will eventually end. And until then, all that you can do is do your best. So if that means that you have to distract yourself for the next 2 to 3 months until this thing is over, then that's what you have to do. I knew that for myself, in order to not go crazy, I had to control the things that I still had control over, which meant what my daily routine looked like and my thoughts. I gave myself the first few days to just kind of wallow in self-pity and fear and all those things. I felt them, but I knew that like I couldn't go on like that for 2 months. There's no way. So I decided that I would try to stick to my daily routine in like the normal life as much as I could, which meant waking up, having my coffee, making a to-do list, even if it's like the smallest things, just sending an email, filming a video, baking or cooking, writing, reading, going on walks, watching people online. There are so many new things that are popping off online that have been so interesting. Like a lot of people are doing cooking classes online, dancing classes, acting, all these things for us to be able to still feel connected and still feel like life is kind of going on, right? Which is really for now all that we can do. That has been so helpful. So I wake up, I have my coffee, I go on a run, I don't talk to anyone, I don't see anyone, I go by myself. That has been huge. I'm not a runner, especially not like a runner outside. And although it's been different, I still enjoy it so much, and I realize like I feel so good afterwards. I encourage you to just try and stick to your everyday routine as much as you can. And it might be weird at first, like it might not feel as fulfilling, it might not feel as productive as you'd like it to, but don't dismiss yourself. Another thing that has helped me is eating the same foods that I did way before. So try my best not to go off the rails and just be like, you know what, fuck it, everything is going to shit, so I'm just going to eat a box or 2 or 10 of cookies, which I think if I had still struggled with binge eating, that would be like my first initial thought. I'm not doing that. I'm still eating relatively the same foods and trying to stick to the same eating windows as I did back when things were normal. So typically I would have my coffee, go to a workout class. Now I have my coffee and I either do an at-home workout, or I go for a run, or I do both, or I stretch, just any kind of like activity to get my heart rate up, to feel like, okay, now I can start the day. Then I come home, well, now I'm home all the time, and I'll have my breakfast. And then I'll try and do stuff on the computer. Like normally I would go to a coffee shop. Now that's either the living room or my bedroom, but it still feels good to have some sort of a routine. Another thing that has helped me a ton has been journaling. I've just been like writing down my feelings and allowing myself to express them as much as I could. Like if I was feeling angry, I allowed myself to feel the anger. I didn't want to like keep it in and hold it down, because I think that's when, again, your feelings like almost take over you and you feel so out of control. So writing them down and validating them and being like, okay, yes, this is how you feel, and it's okay that you feel this way. Like it's okay to feel scared and angry and anxious and all those things, but when you do feel those feelings, you have to find coping mechanisms for them. And again, being fully honest with you guys, I definitely had thoughts like, damn, if my binge eating was ever going to come back, it would come back now. And I'm really happy to say that, you know, it's been what, like 14 days now, and I really feel like my eating has been pretty much the same. There are certain days where I feel like a little bit more anxious, so my appetite like isn't as high and I don't get hungry till like later on in the day, but it's been consistent. I've been just reminding myself to eat and to eat healthy. Don't be afraid to reach out to friends and family, and like through FaceTime. It's actually been so nice because I feel like I've talked to so many friends, like even one of my best friends from elementary and middle school, her and I FaceTime and like reconnected again. So although it's really hard to find the positives right now, there are little tiny positive things that are happening that you can pull from and use that to just help you get through this time. We just have to do our best. That means getting creative, trying new things. I've been writing so much. It's been interesting to like have this time to be able to just figure out if there are things that you might enjoy that you've never even thought of before, or that you kind of put on the back burner because we never have enough time. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If there's anything that I can do that I can like provide you with, please let me know. Hello, show me your haircut.
Oh yeah, my new haircut.
So Nick's new hobby has been cutting his hair shorter and shorter every single day.
So here's what happened. I cut the top with scissors, and my cousin David Riccio cut the sides and the back with the clippers. And then you drew in my earrings, and I did my eyebrow too. That's how bored we are out here.
No, we're not that bored. Come on, I'm just telling them about all these new things we're doing. Nick is writing songs.
I am writing songs.
Is that okay that I tell him that?
Yeah.
He's writing songs.
Yeah, it's not boring at all.
No, it's great. It's been great. I've been listening to live music every single day. And
Live
it's so
concert?
good. I can't wait for you guys to hear it.
That's
So
high praise.
yeah.
That is high praise.
But thank you guys so much for watching.
Thanks for
I hope
watching.
you enjoyed it. We're gonna do a couples either yoga challenge or not your arms cooking challenge. I still
I can't
haven't
cook with my arms, so I don't know if we should do that one.
But can you do yoga?
No. No, I can't do that either. All right, that's true.
But we are going to do one of those, so we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.
I enjoyed it.
Mwah.